Salutations, friends. It's me, your pal, said Stevie. That's how I sign all my thank you cards and everything, your pal, Stevie. So, yeah, maybe that's the way I'll do my new intros. I don't know. It's stupid stuff. Anywho, today I have in front of me a Hinderer. This is an XM18 3.5 inch spear point Hinderer, as it were. Much anticipation for me getting a Hinderer in. I've handled a couple of them before. I know Eggs and Ham has one. I don't remember which one it is that he has. I handled his. Freak Show had a couple Hinderers that I think I handled when I bumped into him and Miss Freak Show at Blade Show. And then I've seen my pal Brant, the Hinderer collector, talk about Hinderers nonstop. But I've never really got to spend, until recently, any significant time with a Hinderer. I did have the Hinderer Maximus that Revolving Blades had lent into the channel. That was a folding dagger, much different than a traditional pocket knife like this. And this one was actually lent in by my buddy Steve Cler, my neighbor, basically. Shut up, phone. I need to put you on silent because it's that time of day where I get lots of dings and dongs, and I'm constantly getting the ding dongs. But yes, the Hinderer pocket knives have eluded me. And when I was doing I did a 4 great U.S. folders video a couple weeks back. That again, I've been really blessed with people being extremely generous and lending me knives to check out as of late. But a couple of those in that video were Steve Cler's, and he heard me say Hinderer is one that I'd like to check out and spend some time with. And so when I returned those knives to him, he said, "Hey, here's a Hinderer to check out." This is part of. They have something cool that I've not really done anything with yet, but it's their Triway Pivot deal to where you can. So this is currently on bearings, but I can change them out. You can change them out. And you can put in. It looks like there's phosphor bronze washers in here. There's Teflon. There's steel washers. So I guess that's cool. Depending on what your use of this knife is, maybe you want them on bearings or you want them on washers. I don't know. I don't know how that affects the action. This thing is smooth. The action on this thing is as good as any knife I've handled. So with bearings, I don't know that I would need to replace them with washers, but again, I think that's a cool feature. The specs on this guy. So I am the last person to review a Hinderer. I'll bet as this video goes up, many people have reviewed Hinderers. But you are looking at a 3.5 inch blade, a handle length of 4.75 for an overall length of 8.25. And then this weighs 5.6 ounces. It's heavy. It's substantial. You do have a G10 show side here, and then a titanium clip side. The frame, so to speak, is titanium. You see the Hinderer logo there on the show side of the blade. You see a slotted pivot, Torx screws there. You do get a lanyard. It's an open construction, so you have standoffs or spacers, and there are no back spacer itself. You get this little textured butt there, which I don't really understand. That's just part of the design, I guess. The pocket clip on here is, it's very similar to the McNees. They don't offer, although it rides it's pretty much the same carry profile as a McNees. And you can actually replace it with a Lynch clip. But then you see it's like the Chicago style screws there, so you don't have any tooled side on there, so those got to be captured non-spinning. And then you do see Phillips head screws for the pocket clip, another Torx for the lock bar insert, and then I think that they take a special tool for the pivot there. So, and then you see USA S45 VN for the blade steel on this. Thumb studs and flipper. I can absolutely middle finger flick this. I can get up underneath there and fire it with the thumb, although it is a little difficult to do it with my thumb. And then you have this very swooping pocket pekka of a flipper tab that it's sharp, but it's very functional. I cannot... I was just about to say I cannot fail this. I swore after playing with this thing a bunch of times I couldn't fail it, and then I absolutely did there. So, go figure for that. But the detent is snappy. I don't have any problems with the detent whatsoever. Is it on the lighter side of detents? Yeah, maybe. But I am not super picky about detents. I think it fires no problem. And then easy access to disengage the lock. Disengages no problem. That flipper tab will hit your thumb. You get past the detent and it wants to just drop shut. So the action on this thing is great. Ergos. So it kind of, it's a little more, it's not, it's curved. So, your blade is already at a downward angle for sure. You do have a very comfortable choil to ride up into, and the jimping along the spine of the scales, and then continued onto the blade right there. This locks in, and that is almost as comfortable as any knife I've ever handled. Even back here with the, kind of the scalloped grip there. I don't know I'm just noticing that. I don't know what that logo is there. It's got to be something I'm just not familiar with Hinderer. But even with those, the scalloped, like the divots there, the flipper tab hits my or my index finger just a little bit, but still, the ergos on this, no hot spots whatsoever. The ergos on this are absolutely amazing. I didn't think I was going to like this knife. They don't really appeal to me aesthetically, but they're extremely popular. They have to be, they're a high seller. There had to be something about it, so I wanted to get one in hand and absolutely check it out. And, man, I get it. Ergos are money on this. The blade steel S45 VN, I'm talking out of turn when I say this is good to go. I don't have any knives in S45 VN, and I know that there's been plenty of controversy over, the softness or the HRC of the S45 VN. I think that's the blade steel that was in question that was going on with transparent knives and Hinderer and that whole debacle. I am not a fan of how Hinderer responded to that. Slapped him with a lawsuit just for, pointing out what his findings were. That dude over at Transparent Knives seems to really know what he's talking about. And I don't think that he would just say that he's got soft steel on a Hinderer for no reason. So, again, I don't know enough about that situation to chime in to say one way or another. And no, being that this is a knife that is not mine, I have not really put this to task. Although I do have some paper here. I can absolutely give it the old paper test. And It's sharp. Well, I had this problem with my last video. Maybe it's the way this paper... I mean, I can't make excuses. It's fucking paper, right? Again, maybe this just needs to be stropped a little bit. This is not, just like my FSD video, this is a fail when it comes to paper. That is not a good look for that, but look, this thing is sharp. It's absolutely sharp. It's you know, I'm shaving hairs there. It's sharp. But is it soft? Is it going to hold up? Is it going to chip? That type of stuff, I don't know. I have so many knives that I rotate through that I never get the chance to really edge test something like that. I'd like to know that if... so Shane, Edgy Merkin, has really rubbed off on me, and listening to how passionate he is talking about blade steels, it absolutely, I'm starting to turn the corner a little bit, in the sense that if you're going to give us a blade steel that's supposed to perform at a certain HRC, it should do that, right? So I totally get it in that sense. So I can't weigh in though if whoever's right. I have a tendency to believe the info that, or I am inclined to believe that the info that Transparent Knives put out is accurate. I got no reason to think that that guy would start shit like that for no reason. And again, I am not a fan whatsoever how Hinderer responded. I think he slapped him with a cease and desist or something like that. Again, I don't pay too much attention to that shit, but everybody was talking about it. I know that's the one thing that Brant, our buddy Hinderer Collector, gets the most shit on. Brant, y'all know him, Hinderer Collector. Huge Hinderer fan, has a shit ton of Hinderers. A huge fanboy. I mean, is more passionate about Hinderer than I am about anything that I collect, even my Ferrum Forges. And that's the one thing that people give him the most shit on, is the softness of Hinderer blade steel. So I don't know how much of that is just breaking Brant's balls versus how true it actually is. The one thing, though, as I'll keep referring back to, that I will chime in is, unless it is completely false what Transparent Knives was saying, the fact that Hinderer did respond, and the way he did, instead of working with him and saying, "Hey, you pointed out a flaw. Let's work together, and maybe we can come up with something and make a better product." That's the way you do things, especially from a U.S. company firing back at a U.S. company. It's like it's friendly fire here, guys. Rick Hinderer. I'm talking to you, Rick. As if you'll ever watch this, but yeah. Accept the criticism, own it, and become better for it, and gain the respect of the community. You have plenty of Hinderer fanboys that are going to say, no, it's not right, and blah, 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 blah. And maybe they're right. But then you also have a lot of people that maybe they're on the fence about getting a Hinderer, like myself. And when you see the owner of the company come out and do something like that, you start to lose respect, or at least I did, and makes you think twice about wanting to get one. And that's a shame, because this is a fabulous knife. It really is. I like this knife. I know that comes in different, there's Spantos, and, I still don't know enough about Hinderer. There's all sorts, they have different models for sure. I'm speaking out of turn. I can only speak to this XM18 here. I think it also comes in a 3-inch, maybe. But this is a fabulous knife. Oh, one thing I didn't touch on is what really does bug me about this knife is all the different hardware. And you got a slotted screw there, you have Torx there, you have Phillips there. You need some sort of proprietary tool, I think, to get into that. I don't know. That's annoying. Just pick one. Just pick one. How about you just do these Torxes? I mean, maybe you got to do. Maybe that pivot is special because of the way that Triway Pivot works. Maybe that has something to do into it. So I don't want to. If that's part of the design, okay. But at least do Torx. That way you don't have to pull out a bunch of different stuff if you got to maintain this. That's just annoying. At least on the pocket clip screws, right? Why are you putting Phillips on there? I don't know. But anywho, this is a fabulous knife. And the fact that it's tainted a little bit by the way he represented his company in going after another company that just seemed to trying to be doing him solid and pointing out something to him, that bums me out. That being said, is the XM18 a knife for me? So I guess this is not really a full-on review. It's more of just my thoughts and opinions, and is this something that I want? That's kind of the way my videos end up going. I take a look at a knife, and then is it something that I want? The answer is probably. It's not a definite yes. There's other Hinderers out there that I think I'd like to check out. This has piqued my attention enough to where I think I'll start paying attention to Hinderer a little bit more, and wouldn't mind checking more out. But I think the going price for these is $425, and then the one that I was looking at had a black titanium scale. I would like that one for sure. And then there's all sorts of different scales that you can get for these as well. So, but say the base price is $425. I'm sure the scale is probably at least $100 if I had to guess. Now it's $525. A lynch clip is going to run you $70, and now it's a $500, and now it's a $600 knife. If you want to do all that, just table price, base price, $425. I don't think that's too bad of a deal for this. Assuming that this blade steel actually performs the way it does. Is this hollow grind or is that a flat grind? I didn't talk about that. I think that's just a flat grind on there. Yeah, that's a flat grind. That's not a hollow. I don't think it is anyway. But yeah, I would put this on the probably maybe list. Again, the ergos are money, absolute money, and I am trying to add more U.S. production knives to my collection. A Hinderer definitely has a place in my knife case, that's for sure. Despite the way he handled things. If I can take it at face value and just the knife itself, I could see this being a very useful tool, absolutely. This could be a forever knife. I think if you maintain this knife and the steel does hold up, this is going to last you forever. So, I dig it. Definitely, it bums me out that there is that, the Hinderer stuff out there, the way he responded. But, yeah, we'll see. Appreciate Steve Cler for letting me check this out. I do got to get this back to him. All wrapped up. I think this will probably post either before or after my FSD reviews, and then I got to get these back to him. But if you haven't already, please give the video a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. If you want to subscribe, you can do so right there. If you want to listen to that crow, you can too, apparently. And then that video too, you can check that out and give that a like. And until the next one, I bid you mofos adeuces.